Hello, thank you all for having me. I feel like the outsider here. We've let telco in. So I would like to say thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure. All right, so we're going to be looking at what the mobile industry is doing to fight back on scams. But first I'm going to let you know who we are, because I don't think we're a very well-known organisation, and yet we impact almost every mobile device in the world. So GSMA unites the mobile ecosystem. We are the Mobile Industry Association. And we do this by unlocking the power of connectivity so people, the industry and society thrive. We essentially represent all the mobile operators and their partners. Our board is made up of 25 CEOs from the mobile network operators, and that represents 5 billion connections around the world. We drive a lot of the policy directions, digital inclusion and sustainability related to mobile. We also support all the key mobile technologies, so 5G, IoT and security. And then we also bring together all that work at our events, and one you may have heard of possibly is Mobile World Congress, and that is in Barcelona in a few weeks' time. And we convene 110,000 people from the industry to discuss a lot of the latest technologies and what is happening in the industry. So with that, I'd like to introduce to you Open Gateway. So we've been working on Open Gateway for a number of years, and it essentially is a global standard using APIs. And we had initially worked on a number of projects with different industries, with the mobile operators is where we really started, because we had that access. But we actually had a lot of the banks come to us and say, look, it's well and good for you to be working on a national level, but we need something that is global. We need a global standard. And so we have now what we call Open Gateway. So essentially, we want to be able to roll this out to as many mobile operators and banks globally. And it's essentially, we're looking at a lot of anti-fraud APIs, where we think that there's more of a nation response, which is quite critical. We also want to scale this consistently. We engage with 3 industry organizations, Camara, the TM Forum, and Amplify, to provide high-quality, robust APIs to meet the market. And I would say that the most success we've had in has been fraud APIs, but we also look outside of that. And then also just looking to collaborate a little bit more with the industry on seeing what is the need. So we're working all around the world, as I mentioned. We want to protect consumers, that is our goal, as well as businesses. And we believe that the mobile network operators have unique customer insights. So there's a lot of data that goes across the network. What is it that you think, is going to be my question, is most useful to you in order to fight fraud and scams? And so through Open Gateway, the MNOs are providing those crucial signals. Just to give you an idea of some of the APIs that we have, we've got over 60. I've just circled here the ones that relate more specifically to fraud and scams. So we've got device roaming status, subscriber identity, number verification, device location retrieval, device location verification, SIM swap, know your customer match, device identification, and as mentioned, you can have access to all of these on Camara. So a few of the examples that I wanted to discuss with you today, the first one of these is Scam Signal, and I'm going to go through that in a little bit more detail. But Scam Signal essentially is where the fraudsters call the victim to manipulate them into logging into their online banking and transferring money. The signals here are quite different regionally, and it's been probably the most successful API that we've had. SIM-swap is the next one, which identifies scams where fraudsters have tricked mobile operators into issuing a victim's SIM or eSIM. And then number verify verifies where a user's phone number matches their device by removing the need for an SMS one-time password, which I think a lot of banks are happy about. Okay, let's go through the Scam Signal example. So this is a really great example of collaboration, and a lot of credit here needs to go to UK Finance for this. They're an organisation that bring together a lot of the banking sector, and without the indicators that they provided to us so that we can work with the mobile network operators to prove that this is a use case worth taking forward, we wouldn't have had any of this, so that's really good. So it is a predictive model, and UK Finance have now taken this not just within the UK, but we've actually been able to take it to Sasric down in South Africa and over to Sri Lanka. So the example we give here is sort of like a phone. You either get a phone call from your tax office. They say, press number 2 now, or some of them can, depending on what part of the world you're from, the level of intensity as to the threat intensifies, doesn't it? So I think it's something that has been really successful for us, and Barclays last week had actually won an award for it, for Best Innovation in Fighting Fraud in Cards and Payments. So they worked with Jersey Telecom in this and FICO. And just to give you an idea of the false positive rate, it's a 3-to-1, which is really great. Santander have described it as game-changing. Now, the detection rate of scam signal is about 40%. So that's not the same as your value of your fraud losses. So Barclays have said in this instance it was about 6% for them. But to have that 40% is hugely impactful. So with GSMA Fusion, when we first started Open Gateway, we were very much focused on what the operators thought the industry needed, but we very much realized that actually the industry should be the ones telling us what they need. And so we really want you to be having a think about what are those network indicators that you think would be really useful to have. I've got some of the questions here, actually. So where are you at the time of their transaction? That's quite an important one. When was the last time you swapped your SIM? Do you recognize your KYC details? And are you on a call at the time of the transaction? These are the sort of indicators that we're really interested to hear from you about. And Fusion does this not just with the financial sector, but we're also working with automotive and lots of different other sectors to be able to gather those insights and see if we can come up with an API that serves its purpose for you. All right, so we've got a QR code here. If anyone's interested in getting in contact with us, the GSMA team are around to have more conversations. There is a lot more detail to these APIs, which we can't always go into detail on, so do come and find us, and thank you so much for having me.